Saturday, when we were we had the prayer service, we couldn't see the video. So this is a girl who sang that beautiful song from Isol.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, we will hear once again. Just a second. Yes.
Yeah.
Lord, we pray for golden peace, peace all over the land. People dwell in liberty, walking hand in hand. Banish fear and ignorance, hunger, thirst, and pain. Banish hate and poverty. Let no one live in vain. Let no one live in vain. Keep us all forever one in love and grace. Wipe away all war and strife. Give freedom to each race. Give freedom to each race. Banish fear and ignorance, hunger, thirst, and pain. Banish hate and poverty. Let no one live in vain. Let no one live in vain. Let your justice reign supreme, righteousness be done. Let goodness rule the hearts of all, and evil be overcome, and evil be overcome. Banish fear and ignorance, hunger, thirst, and pain. Banish hate and poverty. Let no one live in vain. Let no one live in vain.
Yes, we can begin. Shall we begin, madam? Sir Goldsmith, can we begin? Sir
Yes.
Goldsmith?
Yes,
Dr.
please.
Ravi, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the signal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we can begin. We can begin. Once again, it is very nice to come together under Northeast Solidarity to talk about the border issue. We have started, and now things have progressed. We are seeing the changes. Situation in Mizoram improved, but other fronts are also opening. that we will talk about. We will start with a quote from Albert Einstein. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who do not do anything about it. That talks about us. That talks about us. But because of the people who do not do anything about it, that talks about us. Let us take note of this famous saying from Albert Einstein. Thank you. May I invite Dr. Rini Ralte to do the opening remarks. Dr. Rini Ralte.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is unbelievable, I would say, that we are coming to the 8th session of webinar under the banner of Notice Solidarity. The first session, the first 7 were concentrated on Mizoram context, where there was a crossfire between Assam police and Mizoram police, with the death of 6 police personnel and 1 civilian and many injured. So we are also a member of civil society seeking for peace, in what way we can address. So in the previous time, we already reported that our joint committee, our joint meeting as Solidarity, not only from Mizoram side, but also from Assam side, from other side as well, Meghalaya, Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, so on. So today, we are also shocked to a situation where there was a bomb blast in Shillong, Laitumkra Bazaar. So therefore, our focus is going to be shifted from Assam, Mizoram to Meghalaya. But above all, there may be some connection and interconnection. So none of the issues we are discussing is not an isolated issue. It is all connected. Where do we find this connection? Is it the empire we are talking, where the powerful state is overruling to the less powerful state? Whether there is any nature of political patriarchal framework that has been involved, weave into the problem. So today we are going to look at the situation of Meghalaya Shillong bomb blast, whether we, the member of Notice Solidarity, have something to do. And if needed, certainly we will form another group also as well from Meghalaya area, Shillong area, to take a harder pressure to the government of Meghalaya. So today we are not having so many people speaking because we are expecting more on the discussion. I hope that all of us will participate actively. And this is also an invitation that this is going to be an ongoing program every other day. Father Tom will give us more in detail in the course of time. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.
Dr. Rini, thank you for your opening remarks. And you have very clearly said that Mizoram issue is there, but the Meghalaya issue, the bomb blast, is added to our concern. We need to talk about it and see what role we may have or we have. Looking at the design we see, and this design of events starting from July 26, and today is 13th of August. And on 13th of August, what do we see? The Assam Assembly passed the Cow Protection Bill. It sounds very simple. Cow Protection Bill. But according to many in the opposition walked out. They did not vote. According to the opposition, they are saying it is a tool to suppress the Muslims and the Christians. So this is another concern that is coming, and in near future we will see the impact of the implementation of that bill in Assam. Let's keep that also in mind. Now I invite for the first half of this program is the impact of media. Father Tom. Father Tom will talk about the impact of media. Father Tom, please.
Thank you, Sir Goldsmith. I would like to begin this little presentation by offering a note of condolence to the family of Meghalaya, where there was a shooting and there was a brutal killing. I would like to offer our condolences and prayers. It is really unfortunate that a person, and that too who was sick, was called early morning hours, and then he was sprayed bullet and he was killed. We communicate our sincere condolences, and we are also here to pray for peace, especially in Meghalaya and between in the border areas of Meghalaya and Assam. Why I chose this presentation is because of various reasons. I was following the various reports that were seen during the last 2 to 3 weeks. First starting in the TV, then in the print media, and practically on every minute or second on social media platforms. Now, due to the pandemic, we do not see the printed papers these days. But what we see on our smartphones are real media wars. And I am not taking any term that is coined by myself. There is a concept called journalism of violence and peace. There is journalism of violence and there is journalism of peace. And I am taking this quotation from the reference is given. It is by Taylor and Tusu and the Friedman. It reads like this: wars are not only fought by military means. Alongside the fighting on the ground, at sea, and in the air, media war is fought over public opinion and the willingness to fight of population and its troops. And this is exactly what has happened during the last 2 weeks. I am happy that the situation has cooled down in the borders of Mizoram and Assam. But what we saw was a gruesome war that was there. And if you categorize those statements and what was there, I would certainly say it was a journalism of violence, and I could see very little of peace. And then, so let me, with that initial remark, let me go to the next slide. So when we, again, these are not my definitions. Say like these are some quotations and some sayings by scholars from all over the world. I have only put together. Peace journalism is proactive. It examines the causes of conflict and leading to discussion and solutions. It looks to unite parties rather than divide them, and then it oversimplified us versus them, and good guys was bad guys, and things like that. Then peace reporters reject official propaganda and instead seek facts from all sources. So what we have been seeing was this official propaganda, and then official propaganda being sustained in the social media by a lot of people. So when we speak about peace journalism, it is balanced. It covers the issues, suffering, peace proposals from all sides of a conflict. Now, what we were doing, our Madam Renee said, this is the eighth time we are coming together. We were into peace journalism. We were not confined to one factor, one side of the story. We were not saying or we were concentrating on human issues. And let me come to the last sentence. Peace journalism gives voice to the voiceless instead of just reporting for and about elite and those in power. And that is what we were doing. And I'm uh, happy to say that it has borne fruit. And in the coming days, or what we are seeing in the Northeast, you analyze any conflict, any situation, this media has played it plays a vital role. I remember in Karbianglo, we were having a meeting with the journalists, and then one of us said, the journalist, the media is 90% responsible for the violence. Then one of them said 90% is too much, maybe 60% is okay. That means they have agreed that 60% they have contributed. And this is something that we also need to look in the coming days. The papers, the TV, the social media is so much of hatred. It is with so much of hatred. And here, people like us, the little exercise that we are doing will certainly contribute. And as Dr. Rennie and our coordinator, our moderator, Sir Goldsmith rightly said, we are into issues, or we reflect on issues also in the coming days. And then something that we are deliberately doing is peace journalism. What we do not find in the papers, what we do not find in the TV room discussions. So thank you very much for the for listening. I am not pointing out any paper or any media person. If you take in general, this is being bombarded. And how do we resist? How do we counter this war journalism? I would say we are already doing, and then we need to do more if we want peace in the Northeast. Thank you very much. Over to you, Sir Goldsmith.
Yeah, thank you, Father Tom. Thank you, Father Tom, for explaining to us about journalism. One is the violent journalism, and the other is peace. And Northeast solidarity is in the peace journalism, not the violent. The violent, of course, we have seen in recent past and we don't like what we read. Now, if any problem comes between Assam and Nagaland, our paper in Assam would say Naga Durbitto. Naga Durbitto means Naga terrorists creating problem in the border. Now, this kind of narrations is violent journalism. That is not right. And therefore, it also reminds us in our internal communications, Northeast solidarity communications, we have to be careful what we write, what we express, because we cannot express what is violent through words. So therefore, we need to take note and see that we only use the words and expression which is peace, peaceful journalism, peace. It's a reminder to us. Our next speaker is Madam Dekarlin Mukim. Are you there, madam?
Yes, yes,
Dekarlin
yes,
Mukim? Yeah,
yes,
please.
yes.
It's your
Yeah,
time, please. Yes, yes,
yeah.
madam.
Am I audible? I hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So a very good evening to each and every one of us present here. Um, I was asked by Ma'am Rini to speak something on the border issue between Assam and Meghalaya, and I hope those of us who are in this meeting are aware, at least from what we have gathered from what the media shares with us. So one thing that that struck me as I was also reading about the issue. Of course, I'm not an expert when it comes to the issue, but I have been following the news. I have been following the social media with regard to the issue. So I'm just going to share what I think. From what I could gather, especially with regard to the Assam and Meghalaya border dispute, this has been going on for many years. And there has been a lot of talks from both the governments, but then time and again, the disputes happen. And recently, even both the chief ministers of Assam and Meghalaya had met to have the talks and to find solutions to settle the dispute. But from what I could gather, from the information, from the sources that I could gather, it seems that Meghalaya is um, arguing that the disputed lands that Assam also seems to have claims over it has the ancestral papers dating back to the year when it was carved out of Assam. That is even before, way before 1970, 1970s. So, and then the argument that Assam saying that the land belongs to it also has documents which prove that. So it seems to me that there is an unending or a never-ending ongoing of this dispute going on. So in my view, I think if the governments are not serious enough to really study the causes of the disputes, and although there has been efforts made to, in which they have appointed independent committees to take survey and to to study the causes and all that stuff. But then we are still back at square one. The dispute is still hanging in the air, and there has been mutual claims and counterclaims by both the states. So in my view, I think both, especially at least I'm speaking as a citizen of as a citizen of Meghalaya. So I'm speaking at least more in terms of if the Meghalaya government would really take it seriously in taking the people of those areas into consideration. What do the people feel? What are the challenges they are facing because of these disputes? Because at the end of the day, the people living in those disputed areas are the ones who are at the receiving end. They are the ones who are suffering day in and day out, and they are the ones who knows what is really going on. So I think of course setting up committees to really look into the matter, uh, along with working together with the locals of that area. That is number one. And secondly, also I think involving people from the law department who knows about the law and stuff like that, because I think border disputes always goes back to how it was settled when it first all these things occurred. Because it seems from my understanding, it seems that Meghalaya, as has been mentioned in one of the media sources, that Meghalaya has kind of objected or challenged the Reorganization Act of 1961, uh, uh, because during the British time, all these the areas and territories were organized for their convenience. And then after Meghalaya was carved out as a state from Assam in 1970, so areas were again, demarcated. So I think there needs to be a serious, taking into consideration of the issue at hand, instead of really, figuring out what media is saying, or what people are saying. So this for me would be a step forward to start the peace process, because you cannot we cannot talk, or we cannot imagine, or we cannot wish for peace unless we first settle the disputes that really call for serious interrogation, serious negotiations, and serious discussions with the people and with the concerned uh, officers who are expert in their departments. And yeah, so that is my view. And the last thing that I want to reflect and to share here is that how do we as Northeast Solidarity go about this? How do we plan to sort of initiate the peace process? Do we join hands with the government, or how do we go about it? That is the question that is hanging in my head, and maybe I would love for us, all of us, to share our thoughts and comments. So these are just some of the things that I was able to come up with and to share this time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dakarlin. What you have said is in the minds of many people where the solution lies. it is going on in the minds of the people. Where is the end of it? Because today only I heard the Chief Minister of Assam in the Assembly explaining that Assam is following constitutional boundary. That means anything happening in Meghalaya or in Mizoram or in Nagaland, if they are coming this side, the boundary that is been maintained are encroachers. That is number one. You have to take note. These are the explanations that are given, and it is in the minds of the people because the media is reflecting that the people of Meghalaya or the government of Meghalaya is an encroacher. Let us keep that in mind. Another thing I would like to bring to your notice, our Chief Minister said some time back that if the central government is the custodian of all the land, he says, if the central government asks me to hand over Barak Valley to Mizoram, I will do it. If I'm asked by the central government to hand over Guwahati to Meghalaya, I will do it. Now, these are very, very, I do not know how to look at it. So irresponsible talk. Now, when we talk about looking at government to solve, what kind of solutions can you get from these governments who are headed by people like our Chief Minister who talks that way? So this is just, I'm bringing to your knowledge so that we keep that in mind. Now we as Northeast Solidarity Group has a role to play, and that role we have to play. That role we have to play, we have to find for ourselves what is that role, and we have to play. Thank you, Ms. Dakarlane Mukim. Now we go to the second half. Second half is the solidarity and the way forward. I would invite Ms. Bari from Impulse organization. Are you there, Ms. Bari from Impulse?
Yes, from Impulse NGO Network.
Yes, yes. You're welcome, Ms. Bari. Please.
Thank you.
Please. It is your time, please.
Yes. First and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Rini for inviting me to speak on this topic.
Can
I
we see your
actually
face?
like.
Can we see your face?
If
Hello.
I switch on my camera, to hear you to hear me. My internet is a little weak. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, madam. We can hear you. Yes, please go on. Yes,
Are you able to hear me?
yes.
Yes. So we're saying that if I switch on the camera, then I'll have a network issue. So that's why. So as Dr. Rini have asked me to speak about the recent blast that took place in Meghalaya, I first and foremost, from my side, I do not encourage any kind of violence that take place, especially in areas where public people are everywhere. You will see in one of the videos that was taken, there was a child also who, first and foremost, I do not appreciate, I condemn such act. It could have come in a proper way by maybe come out with a different the people who are involved, there could be other ways and means that they could show, they could speak out for what they want. but I condemned the violence that took place recently. That is one of the things that I would like to say. Also, I believe like the boundaries issues needs to have a strategy in which to address, in which different stakeholders should have a round table which needs to be organized. These round tables should be of different stakeholders from all over, like from the government, from the NGOs, from the youth leaders, from different areas, so that they can come sit together and have a discussion rather than create violence. That's what I think it should follow. They should also review practical information and understanding, so that they avoid a conflict, and there should be decision in bringing together different stakeholders. I think if a roundtable meeting takes place, that would solve the issue of land dispute that is taking place in Assam and Nagaland, in Meghalaya as well. And instead of since we are all the seven sisters, we should have a communication instead of fights and conflicts and bringing violence, especially during this time of COVID, when everybody is struggling and trying to come back. So I believe, and I think that best way to bring peace in our seven sisters. I believe that is what we should do. I think that is all I have to say. I don't have much to say regarding this topic. I believe that would be enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bari, for your suggestions and your explanation how we can go forward. Yes, we take note of that. Thank you so much. Now, may I invite Mr. Angtong Ingti? Are you there? Mr. Angtong Ingti from Karbi Anglong? Are you there? Mr. Angtong?
Sir Goldsmith, he is not there. Okay, he is not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then we go to now discussions. Now it is open for anybody to make comments. Your opinion, please express in the line that we are discussing and what is already presented. Please, anybody. Hello.
Mr. Goldsmith, this is Rinoma here.
Hello.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was mentioned that there was a bomb blast in Shillong, and also one man was killed in Shillong. Now, I was a little confused about these two incidents. In what context do we have to take these incidents? I mean, bomb blast. I mean, do we have any suspect or somebody who has caused this bomb blast? And about one man being killed, do we attach any responsibility to any section of people or anybody? I'm a little bit confused about these two incidents. Can anybody give more picture about this?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. I'm sorry, I couldn't catch your name.
Rinoma, yes.
Yeah, Rinoma, yes. Actually, Mr. Reverend Dr. PBM Bafsai will be in a better position to explain. And in the concluding remarks, I request him to touch this. But the person who died, I think his name is Chesterfield. Thank you.
Chesterfield.
Yes,
Chesterfield, thank you.
Chesterfield. Thank you. And Father Tom already said that we need to, you know, um, give our condolence for the death.
Mm.
And we have not discussed so much what is the uh, reason or how he died. Of course, we have the media reports. How he died and how his two sons are also arrested. I think Reverend PBM Basaimot will be in a better position to tell us about it when he comes with the concluding remarks.
Mhm.
We take note of your point. Thank you, Mr. Rinoma.
Okay.
Any other who would like to comment?
Good evening, Mr. Goldsmith.
Yeah,
Christopher,
Christopher. Yes, Christopher. Good
I,
evening.
I'm going to be running away. I've
Yes.
got a training program to attend. I just wanted to make just one small comment only. You know, as we talk about the different occurrences that have happened across the border, whichever border, and you know the unfortunate firing. Now, one terminology has come in recently, which is crossfire. Um, See, I'm from a military family, and I would just like to uh, share with you something. You know, crossfire is when both sides, two sides are shooting at each other, okay, at the same time. And usually that is the word crossfire is used when someone is caught, innocents perhaps are caught in the middle. And you know what had happened on the 26th of July, very, very unfortunate incident, was the Assam side fired first, and after a pause, they were given enough time to go away, and the Mizoram side started shooting. Now, anyone can add on a lot of connotations to what I've just said, their own take on it. Um, you know, we've got all different slants, but please let us not call it a crossfire, because it was not two sides shooting at each other and people caught in between.
Right.
So just a small correction, you know, just so that you know we stick to the main story without getting pulled away into other things. Okay, it leads to some other connotations again. Just that, just a small comment, please.
Thank you, Christopher, for clarifying that. You know, in our peace language, peace journalism, we have to be careful what terminology we are putting. Crossfire is not the correct expression of the things that happened on that particular day, 26th July. So let us not use the word crossfire according to him. Not crossfire, but it may be retaliatory fire or anything, but not crossfire. So we take note of this. Thank you so much, Christopher. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Sir Goldsmith, can I?
Yes, Father Tom.
Yeah. Sir, with regard to the use of guns, we used to travel all over the country, and all over our country, whether you go to east or west, you see policemen standing there with the simple lathi or without even a weapon in their hand. You go anywhere in the northeast, you see the law enforcement authorities standing with the machine guns. And I must say, all over Northeast, gun can be used by anybody. I think that is a dangerous scenario. And we live in a country, we proclaim ourselves as the biggest democracy, and even the death penalty is given to the rarest cases. But then here we see that the state can use gun, non-state actors can take guns. I think what we are going through is a terrible tragedy of our democracy. I remember a few years back, the Supreme Court was debating the death penalty. And of course, death penalty, I do not want to enter into that issue. But then, what is happening in our states? I would say that it cannot be allowed by civil society groups. If gun is the answer, why do we need the law courts? Why do we say that we are a democracy? We have got courts and then legal systems, we have customary laws. All these are bypassed when we use guns. And when I say this is used by state actors and non-state actors, as civil society groups, I would say that we cannot allow, and we cannot say we can only appeal. And I would say what has happened yesterday in Meghalaya is really unfortunate. Even if a person is a criminal, a convict, no power in this country has got that right to take the life of another person. I think I would like to make that appeal to our state actors, our non-state actors, to refrain from the use of guns. When we use gun, we are terrorizing our population, and we are saying power is power. Yeah, the democratic power that is entrusted for few years. It is not to take the lives of people. It is to protect and safeguard. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Very
Yeah,
good.
Father Tom,
Yes, yes, sir.
yes, what you have said is very right. But you know very well what is happening in Assam. What kind of instruction is given to the police of Assam? You know, recently this has come, and few people who are connected with the drug business, drug trafficking, are shot. So, you know, we are in that kind of a situation. You have brought out this point. Thank you so much. And we need to talk about it and see how we reduce or completely negate the use of firearms, settling our issues. Thank you so much. I think it is time for us to go to the concluding remarks to PBM Basaimot, because he would like to take some time. He has to explain few things that has been raised. But let me tell you one thing, Reverend PBM Basaimot, I am bringing this to your memory. I think it was in 1982-83. There was a problem in the border. I think it was Langpi, beyond Longstoin. I'm forgetting the name. It is Reverend PBM Basaimot who arranged for relief to the people who were living in jungles, ran away from the border and living in jungles. And we provided. I was working at that time with CASA, and we
Yes.
took provisions and especially blankets for these people who are living in the jungle. Now that is one thing which has come to my mind. It is so old, thing that is being repeated and not resolved. And how long do we see this occurrence? Now, people who are born after that, we will not know. I'm talking about another age. And Reverend PVM Basaimot, he was the NEICC secretary that time. And he arranged with the police, and with police truck, I went to that area full of dust inside the jungle to provide relief to these people, staying overnight in the open with them and providing relief. That kind of a social action we have done at that point of time, and it is still valid. We need to continue to do that, to be with these people who are suffering in the border areas, whoever they are. We have a duty to them. Thank you so much. Yes, Reverend
Thank you.
PBM Basaimot, it's your time. It's your time, please.
Okay. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, 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 sir. Please go on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for reminding of that relief which we did. And CASA's rule was that when we reaches the state has to bear the expenses. So I had to talk to Mr. P.R. Kandia. He was the revenue minister at that time, and to get the police vehicles to carry the relief materials. I almost forgot about that. Then I'll like to join hands with Father Tom regarding that in Northeast India, in other parts of India, we find the police only with lathis, but in Northeast India, you find them with LMGs. So in 1983, my first visit to Europe and in Amsterdam, and I got a culture shock in 1983 because I did not see any policemen. So I told my friend from Brazil, I said, where is the police station? He said, why? I said, I want to see policemen because in India, I see police everywhere. So you got a culture shock. Democracy in Netherlands and democracy in India. Democracy in India is a khaki uniform. And I remember in London in 1984, I could not see any policemen. There was an accident between a bike and a car. In a few minutes, the police were there. Why? They had CCTV on the road. But they were not on the roadside. But here in India, especially in Northeast India, it's a different thing altogether. I was planning also to write on what is democracy, as Father Tom had said. What is democracy in India? So in India, democracy is being exploited. And poverty, no politician wants to remove poverty of India, otherwise they will lose the elections. Now, coming to the other questions that were raised here, thank you for raising our crossfire. I would like to thank Father Tom for remembering the sudden demise of Chesterfield. Thank you. He was General Secretary of the band Nyotrep National Liberation Council when he surrendered in 2018, 3 years back, to the present Deputy Chief Minister of Meghalaya. Since its formation in 1997, before that it had another name, and when it was in another name, Chesterfield had come to my home. That was 27 years back to bring relief to our village when we were hit by a strong storm, and 70 houses here were destroyed or carried away by the storm. That was the first time I met him when he came to our home. Never entered our home, stood only about 2 minutes to tell me, because I was the village headman at that time, that tomorrow we're going to bring relief. That's all. And then I met him about 6-7 weeks back when I attended the funeral of his uncle, paternal uncle. And I could not recognize him anymore. He had gone fat, stout. At that time, he was small in size, but this time he was very big in size. I could not remember who's this person when he addressed me. And so it is still vivid in my memory. And when the funeral service was about to start, he spoke on behalf of the family at the death of my, let's say, who married into the same clan, the same family. So when I got the news around 11 o'clock this morning, that around 3 o'clock in the early morning, the police had come inside the house, his house, and shot him. I was really shocked. I could not join, I could not say anything because his face is still fresh in my mind. and he had become a kind of an elder in his locality, a respected elder in the locality where he lived, because according to the police version, they're trying to link him to the bomb blast at Layamkra market. But he became a surrendered underground, so to say. He surrendered to the government of Meghalaya. And then the central government began to approach him to be the peacemaker between the government and the band outfit. Since he was there, he was one of the founders there in that band HNLC, Nyotrap National Liberation Council. He became also engaged in peacemaking. And letters from the central government, from the Home Ministry, IBSIB, were sent to the band outfit through him. So he became a peace negotiator. So I don't understand the reason why he was killed. As per the family, as per the police version, that he had a knife in his hand. And then they said they found pistol, 9mm pistol or something, as per the police version. But his brother said he is suffering from a kidney and he has to take medicine all the time. And he cannot climb upstairs also. That's why he was sleeping in the ground floor with his two sons. And then he cannot lift anything because he is very weak, though he looks fat, but he's weak. So his brother said, I don't believe it. 3 o'clock in the morning, if anybody comes to my home, also I'll find something, because I don't think that a respectable person will come at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, there are two versions of that, the family version, particularly from his brother, and the police version. Why they killed him is still mysterious to all of us. When he was the peace negotiator between the government and the outfit, he was general secretary right from its beginning. That is only God knows. And how he had been killed, and his two sons were also taken away. But before this webinar started, I just got information from my niece that the two sons have come back home, but the body of Chesterfield has not yet arrived home. So that is the story behind it. They're trying to link him to that bomb blast in Laimkra. But I was wondering, could he be a peace negotiator if we had of two minds or two motives? Now they have come down also on their demands. Their earlier demand was independence for the Khasi people. Now their demand is only for a Khasi state separated from Meghalaya. The demand has come down very much today. So it's difficult for us to understand, but how can a peace negotiator? But Father Tom had spoke about journalism for peace or peace journalism. Other peacemakers have to be sacrificed. So Chesterfield is the first sacrificial lamb for trying to bring peace, negotiation between the band outfit and the government. So friends, this is one aspect of it. And we are wondering, when we are talking about a boundary issue, in Meghalaya, now people are talking about the bomb blast, and today about the fatality of Chesterfield. Thank you. The whole day the talk and the social media is all about him, interview and all that. And probably tomorrow, I will also pay my condolence, my respects to the departed soul and visit their home. So friends, this is what peace is not easy. People have shared, the Carolyn has shared, Barry has shared regarding how do we go about and all that. But once you become a peace activist, it is not an easy job. I have been myself a peace negotiator in 2004, 2005, when I tried to meet this band outfit on behalf of the government of India. So the word I had used at that time is that emissary. I'm only the postman to convey the messages from the band outfit to the government of India, from the government of India to the band outfit. Decisions is their making. Now, it's a tough job to be a peacemaker. It's not an easy thing, but whatever, peace journalism is the best option that we can take. I remember more than 30 years back, I think it was a Roman Catholic priest from Bangalore who spoke. I'm not a Roman priest, but a media person from Bangalore was speaking about the role of the media in development, in peacemaking. We have a role to play, but in the present context, present situation in India, can the media be a peace journalist? Can it be a peace media in the true sense of the word? The Shillong press, they have filed a petition against somebody here in Shillong. I don't know what exactly, because I cannot catch what they were saying. But the press, the Shillong Press Club have filed a petition against one person. But I saw in the social media this person apologizing to the media that maybe he just spoke off his mind or something like that. So can we write to the media what we want to write? Can we communicate to the media to communicate with the people? See, it's a very tough question we're talking now. Is India still a democracy or not? Or the name of democracy is being misused? So we are living, as Dr. Rini said, we have shifted now. Previously, it was only Mizoram, but now we have shifted ourselves. Now we have included Meghalaya, we have included Arunachal. And Brother Goldsmith had raised the issue of the cow protection bill. And you have also shared regarding the opposition MLAs and the assembly when they didn't join in the voting because they said this bill aims to suppress the beef eaters in Assam. Not only in Assam, but even in Meghalaya, because we import beef cows from Assam. And so beef is expensive now in Shillong because it's not affordable now and not available so much. What is the agenda behind cow protection? Yes, I would agree that all animals should be protected, including the rhinoceros and the hippopotamus. But what is happening to the Kaziranga sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary? Are they protecting? So some of these things are raising concerns among us. It may not be peace, may not be violence by the hand or by the pistol, by the gun, but even our thoughts can become violent. Now, I would like to thank also Dr. Lin and Barry for sharing regarding that if you want to solve the boundary issue, it's not only by the top brass in the two governments or the three governments, but the affected people should be taken into confidence. The people who have lived there for generations should be taken into confidence. Where do you want to go? As we know that 8 villages in Hahim area, they have taken a decision that we will stay with Meghalaya. Would a referendum be allowed to those villages along the border of Assam and Meghalaya, Assam and Arunachal, Assam and Mizoram? Let them decide where they want to go. That will be the best solution. And then take in their inputs and you compile that. Then you can do the mapping and the droning and all that. Not before that. Because, as I said in the Election Commission meeting in 1979, when they said they had lowered the ceiling of election expenses for Meghalaya, only 37,000 rupees for the MP election. So when I raised that question, the Chief Election Commissioner said that, Meghalaya is a small state. And I said, sir, for me to go and canvass election in the remote village, I may have to spend more because I have to take somebody to carry my materials, election materials, and then also I have to walk maybe the whole day to reach that village to get one vote. So mapping or the aerial survey will not tell us the exact position, the contours of the land. It is the local people themselves to decide. Take all that into your findings, include in that, then you can do the mapping according to the wishes of the local people. That will only solve if you accept the vote of the people. Why don't you accept the people's opinion and feedback where they should be, in Assam or Meghalaya, in Assam or Mizoram, in Assam or Arunachal? So if you accept that, I would accept that myself as a Democrat, as a person who believes in the people's input. So I think that will be enough for today, but we have to be solid as this subject, our last subject is solidarity and way forward. We still have to find ways and means, other ways and means, how to go forward to resolve the conflict, the disputes which has taken away lives, and not to divert it from the boundary issue between Assam and Meghalaya and divert to killing Chesterfield by the police. Before he was taken to court, if he had done anything wrong, he should have been taken to court? No, but killed with one bullet because the family members said we heard only one bullet shot. If it was an exchange of fire, there have been two shots heard. If there was a Mochi exchange, there would have been rattling of shots. But no, they heard only one shot. Would you believe the family members or would you believe the police who killed Chesterfield? So instead of making peace, they are creating more tension within the state itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, all of you.
Yes.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. P.B.M. Basaimat. You have clarified many things and you have given information. Thank you so much. And we continue to meet
Thank you.
under the leadership of Northeast Solidarity. Thank all of you who participated today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Rini, are you there? Madam? I request all of you to remain for another 1 or 2 more minutes.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Thank you very much, all of you, for the fair and free discussion, which is not easily found in the chat rooms of TVs and and I think that is what we can. That is the best part of this exercise.